excuse me, back with part 4, Cyclical Time and Ismaili Gnosis by Henry Corbin, starting on page 22 of the book, page 17 of the ebook. This section is called Time as a Personal Archetype. It's one of the most important, if not the most important section in the book. Actually, every section is important, but this one right here, life changing, mind altering. I don't know how to explain it. That's why I just gotta share this shit with y'all, yo. Peace. Alright, here we go. You're gonna hear some phrases that you've heard before, so just Agathos, Damien, Celestial Self, Sophia. Yo, and if you studied ancient Egypt, please keep all of your knowledge with that in mind. But it's really wise to study all the other, like ancient China, Shintoism, the Upanishads, and the Bhagavad Gita. You got to read these things. Go to the Mayans. I'm telling you, the Hopi, the Celtic, Druids. Study it all, because this shit is real. Here we go. Time as a personal archetype. The episode of the descent of man's Pravartis to earth is thus both the consequence and the signal of the shift of eternal time into limited time. The very first line, just this is crazy. Very opportunely. Some words, if I get tongue twisted, man. It's kind of weird. There's one word up here. I'll run into it again. Probably be like, whatever. Here we go. Very opportunely, Shahrastani mentions this at the end of his account of modified Zervanism. And I believe that it is by concentrating our attention upon this motif that we in turn shall best be able to gain an intimation of how eternal time can be apprehended as a celestial person, and what experience of time in its twofold aspect is expressed in this personalization. Let us briefly recall certain of our initial findings. Every creature is composed of his earthly part and of his celestial counterpart, his archetype or angel. Hence, through every reality, it is possible to discern a person, that is, to grasp this reality as or in its celestial person. The fractions of time, months, days, and hours, may themselves be visualized as persons, i.e., angels and archangels whose names they bear and who are their event. This relation to their angel constitutes precisely their archetypal dimension. It is this relation that makes it possible to apprehend them as a complete whole and thereby to apprehend them as persons. Just to pause real quick, very funny thought. Yesterday I was just doing my thing and had a thought in my head. I said, what if the ancient Egyptians had different levels of consciousness, that they went out and they taught the world, like people who were not, I guess you could say civilized yet, and they taught the 7 levels of, or the 7 laws of the Kabbalion. Basically, they had their own phase of it. The origin of it is from them, and they would go around the world, or give it to people to spread around the world, these 7 to possibly 12 levels of consciousness for humanity to evolve consciously, sustain itself, to grow, to be consciously aware, and to build a good reality and experience goodness and love on this planet. But it's been altered and shit. But anyway, here we go. So, this relation to their angel constitutes precisely their archetypal dimension. Now, okay, here we go. It is this relation that makes it possible to apprehend them as a complete whole, and thereby to apprehend them as persons. This norm applies a fortiori to the Pravarti incarnated as an earthly human soul, whose celestial counterpart is the soul of light or angel, which it encounters on the way to the Sinvat bridge, which separates the two universes. As far as naming the months, hours, and days, by archetypes and things like that. That goes all the way back to ancient Kemet. Okay. Um, Thus, the visualization not only of all reality as a person, but also of that person as transcendent and celestial depends essentially on the archetypal dimension constituted by the relation with the angel, a new dimension of light, which determines the entire structure of the Mazdian ontology. This is just amazing shit. Some amazing stuff, yo. Wow. Let us keep in mind this fundamental norm in seeking to follow the chain of relations that confronts us here. Not only do the fractions of time appear as celestial persons, that is to say, as eternal individuations, but absolute time itself, eternal time, appears in multiple personal figures. Zervan, eternal time, is a sovereign. He is wisdom, Diana. Zervan is destiny. Zervan, is light and glory. As we learn in the myth recorded by Esnik, see that their key is to burn that bridge. I mean, that's a good way to put it. And when I say they, you know, that is a massive. There's a massive explanation behind that. You know, we talking about the 13 bloodlines. We're talking about these people who were part of basically taking over the world. Y'all know who they are. You know, come on, we know who they are to this day. Still in certain places they shouldn't be. You know, territories and shit. You know what I'm saying? Huge responsibility when it come to the slave trade. You know, to just literally fuck the world up, fuck the history of the world up, fuck my whole ancestry up. You know, my whole people's ancestry up. We can't really tell if we originate from here, from the Americas as indigenous, or if we came from Africa, because you know the black man is from everywhere anyway. As a matter of fact, we can go all the way back to before, you know, Magellan and them. We was crossing the oceans. How did we not know we was already in China and these other areas, and we was coming over here? So we might have black Chinese in the damn, like Angkor Wat. You know what I'm saying? Kimber. We had these people thousands of years ago. I'm getting off the subject. Let me keep going. So, moreover, the Greek equivalents of these Iranian notions tend to fix the play of transportations upon the vision of a determinate figure, namely that of the agathos daemon. We're going to go deep into that, and from some more research and from other sources. We're touching on some things that's beautiful. Okay, that is to say, upon a figure. This is the agathos daemon. Diamond. I have a book called the Diamond by Anthony Peake, A Guide to Your Extraordinary Secret Self. Okay. Along with The Alone by Henry Corbin, who basically, you know, gets his stuff from sort of variety, Avicennia, and the likes. Spiritual Body, Celestial Earth. You gotta get these books, man. So, the Agathos Daemon. Okay. This is a figure which in every case becomes a tutelary angel or celestial padros. The transpiration corresponds to that which in Zavan gives us an intimation of a Diana, and in Diana of the celestial self. And it is precisely this insistent and precise transpiration which should enable us to ask with some hope of an answer. What mode of existence and experience is presupposed by the apparition, the phenomenon, of eternal time as a personal figure, tending to become fixated in the form of the angel, which is the celestial paradros, and as such the archetype, the guide, and the destiny of life. This form of angel paradros also signifies a totality that is consummated only by the conjunction of the earthly person and the celestial self, which is its superior existence. until the incarnated Parvati is joined upon her return with the angel who comes to meet her on the road to the Sinvat bridge. Up to this moment the earthly soul is lacking. It lags behind itself, that is, behind the totality of its being. In short, we are led to this conclusion. The visualization of eternal time as of a person identifying himself with the archetypal person of every earthly individual signifies literally that in compensation, limited earthly time, the time our master needs in order to expel Ariman from his creation. In short, the time that we ourselves are in. He's trying to break it down to you. It's plain and simple that he's talking about today, tomorrow. Yes, the time that we are living in. For us earthly creatures, time, pure and simple, is what he says in parentheses. This time is retarded eternity. And I read that, I get a little bit more. Okay. That is why in the angel's annunciation after death, I am thy Diana, we were able to perceive the equivalent of I am thine eternity. Forgive me, y'all. It's just some amazing stuff. At this point, and I've already read this once, no, twice, I think. I read it all once, certain parts twice. This is my third time. Going back and forth to it plenty of times. At this point, let us consolidate our general statements and illustrate them by examples. I mean, he wants to just give it to you plain and simple, the best way he can, let you know what it is, man. Henry Corbin, there's a thing about this behind. See, I heard that Henry Corbin was an inspiration of the people who created Dune. I forgot his name. And that Dune. See, Henry Corbin is like one of my favorite authors. What I'm saying is that his books, most of his books, are basically my favorite books. My father, who I have the same name as, I'm a suffix, it's the second. He loves Dune. Dune is his favorite book. He has a story about Dune. He got Dune as a gift. He lost it in his mother's basement, and then in a flood or something. Then somehow, some way, it popped up, or something like that. Dune, the book Dune, and he was just mesmerized by it to this day. He loves Dune. Well, Henry Corbin inspired the people who wrote Dune, and today, the workings of Henry Corbin inspired me to continue on my journey. It's a very strange thing. And then the fact that Dune was broken down by Bobby Hemmett to reference symbolically the Iraq War, paralleled with the Dune movie in the aspects of the places called Arrakis, and the melange or the spice referencing melanin, the place where the worms are representing the area of the pituitary pineal gland, where the sand and stuff is. If you read about the pineal gland, you'll understand that we have sandy substance around it, or in it, either in it or around it, and things of that nature. So, the pituitary vibrates the pineal gland, causes certain things to happen. One of the tools they use to awaken the worm to bring forth the spice, because they are the ones that create the spice, the worms, is this vibration tool in the movie Dune. So, yeah. And yeah, this does relate to melanin. But anyway. So, where was I at? He's going to break down some shit. So these are numerous texts that might enlighten us, but I shall be brief, condensing the themes as much as possible. Number one, a first series of examples tends to show the epiphany of eternal time as essentially multiform. Now he might mention the Gospel of Thomas, but yeah, that's a key That's a key text referring to this too: eternal time, celestial or eternal time, and limited time. Basically, twins. Time, or Thomas being the twin of the Yahashua. Okay. Anyway, it shows the. I can't read that. That's in Greek. So not only does this modality provide a found, I know it's few of the letters, of course, but it's a whole thing. Not only does this modality provide a foundation for its numerous epiphanies, it also makes possible the exegetic transition leading the being from the hypostasis as such to the being in its function. It is thanks to this multiformity that eternal time can in each instance manifest itself as an archetypal figure, which seem let me keep going. For this precisely is what assures its presence in that instance. The idea of a unity, which is the unity of each member of a whole, and also that of their totality, may also be verified in connection with the archangelical heptad in Mazdaism and in the earliest Christianity as well. This idea makes possible a simultaneity of divine unity and divine plurality, which avoids the simplest dilemma between monotheism and polytheism. This might be an occasion to redefine the old term of kathenothysny as the hierophantic category of every instance. This means that, given the figure in which the transpirations of the aeon tend to become fixated, the mode of existence of the soul for which eternal time is epiphanized as a figure, that is, its archetypal dimension, culminates neither in the void of its own isolation, nor in a uniformly nameable divine presence, but in a rigorous and irreplaceable individuation of that divine presence. The epiphanies of the aeon assume this aspect of an eternal individuation which is always a totality. We might conceive a predetermined number of such epiphanies, but each is multiplied in turn. There are, for example, the celestial archetypes or personal figures of the divisions of the Mazdean year, typifying personal creative powers. We find examples of a similar mental iconography in the Gnostic Noseri and Ismaili calendars, and Manichaeism. And finally, we have the 12 maidens, virtues, or majestics, the 12 glorious maidens of Zavan, a mystery which in the 12 hours of light leads the soul from earth to perfect light. Remember, this is all ancient community. This is all ancient Egyptian. If you don't believe it, you got to read your Massey's works, and you'll understand. But in addition, time itself is an eternal totality. Oh, no, but in addition, time itself as an eternal totality is epiphanized in individuated figures, whose play of reciprocal transpirations are fixated in a figure, which may enable us to define the mode of existence for which eternal time announces itself in this manner. Zervan is eternal wisdom. Zervan is destiny, as an elected and imparted finality leading back to itself. Parentheses, personal destiny or finality, which is something other than what is popularly called fatalism. In this capacity of destiny and personal destiny, Zervan also appears as Ikshvar, the Evestan Svarena, that is to say, as the celestial light of glory, the fire of victory, which is primarily the property of the celestial Yazatas. This glory was visibly manifested as a nimbus and flame, forming halos around the heads of the princes of dynasties consecrated prior to our chronologies. He's talking about the ancient Kamites, guarantee it. It still retains this visibility in the stylized nimbus which accompanies it from the figure of the Mazdean Salshiant, or Savior, to the Western representations of Christ, to the Eastern figures of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. But it is not only the royal and sacerdotal charisma. It is the power which constitutes and knits together the existence of a being of light. That's very important. That means he's talking about you and me, everyone, not just these bodhisattvas and stuff. Okay. In that case, they were once us. In this sense, this glory signifies the soul itself, insofar as it exists before the body. This is This is where they want to keep you connected away. They want to keep you away from this. They don't want to have you connected to this soul that was itself insofar in pre-existence, before the body even existed. Another term for it is glory. Okay. So, the glory of God, the glory of this, the glory of that, that's religious. All right. Henceforth, if this light of glory, figure of eternal time, is imparted to every being of, see, that will clarify my statement about the Jesus thing to Thomas. This light of glory, they call him the light of glory all the time, figure of eternal time. Okay, boom, he's eternal time. The Christ is synonymous with the soul. We all know that, which is none other than ancient Kemet, Heru, whose father was Osiris, which represents the eternal soul. Henceforth, if this light of glory, figure of eternal time, is imparted to every being of light as its very soul, we shall be justified in calling it the destiny and eternity of that being. It should be mentioned that these alternating denominations in which we glimpse the figure of Zavan in the myth recorded by Esnik were given precise Greek equivalents. He gives the words here, Danea, and Tu, I don't know the other one. The fact that this light of glory, which is also destiny, was represented by the term, and we have to research destiny. Research destiny, Google it, go back to the depths of it. Chaldean oracles, okay, which is also destiny, was represented by the term there's some more Greek shit, is of the greatest importance. For in the, that's amazing, I can't read it, I'm sorry. For in the same context, the figure Tuxn, Tuxn, it looks like Tuxn, but it's Greek, so okay. But it's basically saying fate, destiny, was identified with the figure which dominates the Hermetic horizon, Agathos Daemon, who appears simultaneously as a Hermetic divinity and as the personal good Daemon, the Agathos Daemon, the celestial Paredros, or partner, that is to say, the helping tutelary angel, a gratuitous gift obtained by prayer. Oh, man. So, in whatever sense we consider it, we perceive a figure with increasingly precise traits. On the one hand, Diana is divine, and she is also the angel self, the celestial archetype, coming to meet the soul. In the Corpus Hermeticum, Sophia is the Aeon. She is the mother of Anthropos, that is to say, of the regenerated mystis, for she has given birth to his immortal body. But in addition, the assurance of immortality is bound up with the attainment of the Daemon Peretros, the celestial angel or partner. At the same time, Zavan is personal destiny. He is Agathos Daemon, who is a divine figure as such, and also a Daemon Peretros, the personal angel of each soul. That was part 1 of that part. I'm going to end it right there. Come back with part 2 and part 5. Peace.